Hello and welcome to another X-Ray Tech video. Today we're going to be talking about 4 of the best low-code, no-code automation tools out there. Now, there's a ton of buzz in this industry right now when it comes to different tools that people are making. People have been stuck inside for a long time and they're making stuff. And it's awesome to see, but there's a couple that if you're new to no and low-code automation, this is where you got to start. So the first tool that I want to talk about today is a tool called Zapier. Now, if you haven't heard of Zapier yet, they are the 800-pound gorilla in the no-code arena. They are the oldest, they are the biggest, they have the most integrations, and they are the easiest to use. Zapier is a very simple tool to help people just understand how to connect sequential tools together and create automations that can be incredibly powerful and incredibly useful. So if this is the first video you've Googled and said, no and low-code automation, where do I start? Zapier is the place to start. So if you are a little bit more advanced than a rookie in the automation world, and maybe you have a computer science background, or you've written some Python before, or maybe you come from the science world and you're familiar with R, any of those types of things, if you're experienced on a computer and you're comfortable looking at things like JSON or HTML, you might want to consider using a tool called integromat. Now, there are some drawbacks with integromat, mostly around being able to connect to external applications. There's a lot fewer integrations in integromat than there are with Zapier, but the trade-off is with integromat, you get to go a lot deeper. You get to make a lot more custom API calls. There's a lot deeper of integrations in the tools that it does integrate with. And more often than not, you're able to do much more complicated things with integromat than you are with Zapier, albeit the learning curve is way higher. So those two platforms really couldn't be farther apart when it comes to technical expertise. So if you're a rookie, really go with Zapier. And if you really want that high touch fidelity, you want to mess around with arrays and looping and doing all types of technical things, you're going to want to be on integromat. The third tool that I want to talk about today is a tool called Airtable. Now, Airtable is by far the best no-code database out there right now. And I'd be hard-pressed to see anyone take their spot. Airtable is really set up to be like Google Sheets on steroids. You can do things like have column types, you can make multi-select fields, date fields, formula fields. Sort of the world is your oyster with Airtable, and it's amazingly powerful. The way that Airtable uses views and filters really allows for tremendous flexibility to trigger and sort and organize your automations and your data. So Airtable as a centralizing data hub for you, even if you're not a technical person, and if you are a technical person, Airtable allows you to make your own API calls or not make your own API calls, and it feels like a spreadsheet. It's very similar and familiar to things like Google Sheets, but it adds a lot more power and a lot more rigor and structure to your automations because they use IDs. Every record has an ID and every column has an ID field or property so that you're able to move things around and not mess anything up. We have a different video about why Google Sheets could be an automation nightmare. The last tool I want to talk about is a tool that is rarely used, I think, or at least rarely known in the low and no-code space, and that's a tool called Keyboard Maestro. Now, I think that Keyboard Maestro is sort of the internet's best kept secret because it is a desktop application. It's not something you can just go to on the web, but it's a flat $35 fee for a lifetime license. Now, I don't know any other software on the internet right now, especially automation software, that you could pay that little and get this much functionality. I mean, you can run JavaScript in the browser, you can do image recognition, you can translate text, you can do so many things inside of Keyboard Maestro, but it really is geared for the person who is a little bit more technical and not afraid to, write a few lines of JavaScript. But Keyboard Maestro, from sitting on your computer and not being based on the cloud, allows you to automate a different type of thing, right? You're not automating between applications or between cloud applications. You're actually able to move your mouse You're able to type on your keyboard. You're able to do a lot of custom things that otherwise you wouldn't have the ability to do unless you're using something like Automator or writing your own Python script in an executable. I definitely urge you to check out Keyboard Maestro, Airtable, Zapier, and integromat to figure out what is really the best tool for you and the skill level that you're at in your journey of understanding automation. So if this video has been helpful, please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel get to that billion hours that we're trying to save for people. As always, links and resources are in the description down below, and don't forget, keep the flow.